Prime Minister Rama, thank you so much for being with us on Euronius in this summit. A few months ago, you wrote an op-ed with the Serbian president, Aleksandar Vučić, in which you came up with some new concepts for enlargement. You said there's a way in which you can gradually enter the union, sit at the table, not without the full package, but be at that table willing to give up fundamental rights of a member state. What do you expect from the summit?
I don't know. Apparently, there is a written document on the table, which is a French-German document.
You think they copied your idea?
No, it's not about copying. First of all, my idea was not something that came out like light in the sky, because I am in this job since some time now, and I realized, in the hard way sometimes, that the old way will not work. So we need to find a different approach. But there is one piece of the puzzle missing yet, which I call the Helmut Kohl piece of the puzzle, meaning politics first, and then the rest follows. We should sit on the table, around the table, right away, and each one has to make its own work merit-based. It's a normal thing, around the table. So let me give you an example. Ursula von der Leyen, who is our leader and who in the same time is the one that has re-engaged Europe with enlargement. She has.
You think that is her credit? She has really re-engaged on
enlargement. Because before her, the previous one said there is no enlargement. Mm-hmm. So she has 6 kids. So the kids are around the table. And then they have to go through exams, they have to go through school, they have to go through this and that. So it's not them deciding anything around the table, but it's them staying on the table, it's them participating in the family life. What is missing here is exactly that. You cannot say to the kids, you have to stay somewhere in the neighborhood, and when you are ready, you will come in the family. No, you are in the family, and the family will help you be ready. So no same, but all together.
And in specifics, that means what? That you get to participate in European councils, access to single market gradually, more business, more money? What does that mean?
Yeah, it means everything that is written, but around the table, not separated.
So you're saying, as Eddie Rama, this no longer works for me. A summit a year, this no longer works for me.
Why no? For me, it works even without this, because I represent Albania. We are fanatics. We are not like the others. We are the fanatics of the EU faith. There are no fanatics anymore around. We are the fanatics. So whatever it takes, however it goes, we remain rooted in the EU faith. You understand? So for us, there is no plan B, there is no alternative, there is nothing. The point is how to make it work in a world that is not anymore the world of some years ago. Mm-hmm. European Union need to be united politically. Then the whole thing will follow, and how all these mechanisms are good.
Are you willing, or ultimately this is your goal, to put in a date, to put specific numbers? Because again, for many, this is completely vague. What does this mean in terms of specifics? What are deliverables that you walk out of here and you say to Albanians, we accomplished something?
First of all, what is to be saluted is that there is now a huge opening.
Okay.
So there is not anymore, no, it's open now.
You perceive
now, that? Of course, it's very open. And now it's about crafting it. But the question is, it will be crafted by them only, and will be still out or not. Let's take Serbia. Mm-hmm. Aleksandar Vučić can tell to the Serbs, I will bring you to the EU. The Serbs will say you are a stupid person because they don't want us. If he tells to them, I am not going to bring you to the EU, then a lot of complications start. What I mean by that is that all around the Balkans, there are forces and there are third actors that are interested to push the narrative, it will never happen. They will not take you in.
But the Commission will say, in the case of Serbia, it's not happening because of actions and decisions taken by the government.
I took it as
it's not external.
I took it as an example. I'm saying that look at Moldova. You want Moldova? Okay, Maya Sandu is telling the Moldovans, come with me in Europe. It's not happening.
The alternative is Russia.
She resisted 2 elections. The third elections, maybe she will not resist anymore because the Russians can say, hey, are you crazy? It will never happen. So, no, look at Ukraine. Bring everyone around the table with the status they have each in this situation. Candidates, negotiating. The process should be merit-based because it helps the countries to improve. The merit-based process is not just for Europe. It's first and foremost for us. Going through the merit-based process, we strengthen our institutions. We build democratic states in countries that have missed it for a long time. This is the drill.
And what is the risk?
You feel me?
I feel you. I feel it very much. And you're very energetic about this. But what is the risk if this doesn't happen? Because we hear there is a security need. What is the risk? That there's violence again in the Balkans? That there's interference from Russia? What is the risk?
But listen, it's not about what is the risk in terms of...
But you talked about external forces. You talked about a negative message.
Yeah.
What are the risks?
It's not about the risk as something that will blow. It's about the corrosion of the trust in you and the watering down of the faith in this family. So it's something that needs to be addressed politically, and it's very important for you to close the political border and say, this is a family. You have no room here to spread lies and to fuel a hatred against you and to tell the people it will never happen because they don't want you and blah, blah, blah.
The counterpoint from EU citizens would be, however, we need to make sure that they are also ready to the extent that we need them. And that means serious reforms on judiciary, separation of powers, freedom of the media. Nobody wants another Hungary. That is the point.
Nothing changes. This is very clear. Nothing changes in that regard. So you cannot have the final day of negotiations if you are not fit. You cannot have the treaty if you are not fit. You cannot have the approval of all the member states if you are not fit. But until then, you are around the table. You are part of the European Union. You understand?
And that would be called what? Associated membership?
Close membership? There will be called nothing. There will be United European Union. It is all together around the table. The grandfather, the grandmother,
but
the
parents,
parents,
how do you call that? Because you're not an EU country. How would you call that?
You have to switch it. We have to change this. We have to become part of the European Union family now. And then the rest will follow, like the kids, like the youngsters have to step by step become a voice around the table. Have to have step by step part in the decision-making of the family. But until then, they have to grow, they have to make the exams, they have to make everything.
Are you encouraged by this Hungarian decision now on the cluster one? This is very technical again, but the symbol and the signal is that Ukraine will finally get moving, Moldova will also get moving. Does it change that Peter Magyar is at the table?
I don't think this will be, it's good, but I don't think this will be enough for the Ukrainians. It will never be enough. I don't think it will be for Moldova, yes. Moldova should...
How do you interpret that in this paper from France and Berlin? They referred to the Balkans and Moldova, but not Ukraine. Is that the point, that ultimately this country will be something else?
I don't know. I think the best way, the simplest way, the sharpest and the boldest way is to say, guys, come around the table and we'll fix it step by step, year by year, for each and every one of you. And in the meantime, look at the paper. You close a chapter, you get something. You close another chapter, you get something. But it's individual. It's not all of you in the same time. But all of you in the same time, we're together because it's politics. We are a political union. We have to talk about what we do with our common defense. We have to talk about what we do with our common foreign policy. We have to talk about how we keep balance our
But that means full
democracy.
alignment with foreign policy with the EU. Serbia, for example, is not applying sanctions. That would be another issue.
Again, where is the difference? Why Serbia is today around the table? Because it is a candidate country aiming to become part of the European Union. So it will not be a mistake. It will be a great advantage for both to have Serbia around the table all the way, and then to tell Serbia around the table, hey guys, it's not good, you have to align. But for them, will be much easier to align if they will finally realize that they are part of the European Union, and they have to grow up in the role and to be fully endorsed by everything that has to do with the European Union.
The last time we spoke, you also made a point very clear that was controversial. You said to me, this was a mistake that the EU is not talking and engaging directly with Russia. We need to engage with this diplomacy.
Yes,
now it's happening. Do you feel validated?
Where is happening?
Well, there is talk, as you know now, between the French, Germany, and the UK that there could be now a sort of envoy for the Russians.
There is talk between them that could be a talk. Yeah, but we're still far away.
But they have opened this debate about talking to Russia, which was an absolute no-go up until 6 months. Even the Ukrainian president says it's needed.
Six months is an eternity in war, because in 6 months people continue to be killed.
But the Europeans have changed their mindset now. They now openly talk about there needs to be a form of communication.
I hope they start to talk with Russia, because talking to each other, they have never a problem.
To talk about what, however?
To start understanding each other, how this war can be stopped in a way that does not...
Some say that's a trap. Russia's an enemy to the European Union and Europe?
Listen, I don't know what other name to put to a force that is killing people in another country every day. It has not been an enemy. It should not have become an enemy. And in this, there is a reflection to be made, but nowadays it's an enemy and should change. Now, talking to the enemy, making peace, working for peace every day is not about the other side. It's not about how much the other side wants peace. It's not about how sincere is the other side. It's not about if the other side is criminal or is not. It is about who you are, right? So I believe that every democratic country, every democratic soul should seek for peace, no matter what.
I have to ask you, of course, about Albania, because over the past days, we've seen this protest on this real estate project that allegedly Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump want to carry through. Are you looking at this protest? Are you taking into account the backlash? What is actually happening?
Albania is in a hybrid war. We are being assaulted. I saw it through media or through reading happening in other countries in other circumstances, but now I'm seeing it in my country.
By who?
Different forces that brought in the day one when this war started, this hybrid war started. I'm not talking about the protests as a war, I'm talking about a hybrid war, because the protests are part of it, but are part of it in the sense that who is engaged in this war is using the sentiments of some well-meaning people about environment.
So this is being weaponized as this real estate construction project?
Is being weaponized big time, not as a real estate construction project, is weaponized by the enemies of Albania and of Israel, because there is a narrative in the whole thing that this is about a hidden deal between me and Bibi Netanyahu through Jared Kushner to bring the Palestinians in that part of Albania, which is a total fantasy. But guess what? In this world of manipulation through
But also say some talk about the environment, some talk about a massive island.
I'm telling you, massive island. It's about how deeply the use of social media for pushing false narratives can touch the sentiments. So in the first day, imagine, we saw 5 times more users than the number of users that are the usual ones in the Albanian social
So you say
media.
these protests are being agitated by forces online?
It's a lot of bots, it's a lot of fake profiles, it's a lot of attacks coming from all over. Now, this is one narrative. Because Albania has a very proud history of saving the Jews. Albania has a very proud position of never having had anti-Semitic sentiments. And there are enemies of Albania, they have names, that want to fuel this among the Albanian Muslims that are incredibly tolerant, that are amazingly pro-European, that are citizens of Europe and have nothing to do with things. This is one. The other narrative that is mixed with that is the environment. And there are studies, very, very much clear, that how external forces have studies, I mean, not from Albania, from Sweden, from other countries in Europe, how external forces hostile to Europe, hostile to democracies, hostile to the enlargement, use environmental issues to fuel false narratives and to fuel protests.
So that's also being weaponized in your view?
Weaponized. Third is, yes, there is a real thing, which is there an expression of interest to have a project? Yes. Is there a project? No. There is no project yet. The project is being worked by the investors. We have to see when the project will be presented. This is the reality.
But are you confident that you will get to a resolution that works first and foremost for the people of Albania?
No, there is no resolution to get. There is a project to happen in terms of first being designed, being presented, being scrutinized and approved, and then there is a project to be built. There is no resolution.
So if it works, it goes ahead. If it doesn't fit purpose, it will not go ahead.
Of course, but there is no chance that the progress in Albania and the projects in Albania will be defined by street protests. This will never happen, not under my watch.
Because that would mean what?
That would mean we have to discuss about reality, not about fake reality. If we have to discuss about a project, yes, we have to discuss about the project. Everyone is welcome to discuss about the project, but not about fantasies, about projects that do not exist yet, or about projects that are presented in the social media by being engineered.
And by the son-in-law of President Trump?
No. There are a lot of images that have been spread in the social media of projects that are not related to the project. Of dying flamingos, of depressed turtles, and of all this. It doesn't exist. So we have to talk about reality. When the project will be presented, of course, we'll show it, and we'll show it proudly. And I'm sure it will be a project that will change a lot in how Europe understands environment in general. Because this is the aim. It's not the aim to take a piece of land and to do speculation. The aim is to build the most exclusive and the most environmentally precious
But some people take issue with the exclusive too.
Why?
Because it becomes an elite on land that belongs to the Albanian people.
The land belongs to the investors. They have bought it from the privates.
And that's part of the issue.
Number one. Number two, we are not anymore in the bunker of Enver Hoxha, isolated from the world. We are part of the world. Number three, exactly because these investments come, countries change. Because €1, and it's not me saying it, €1 that enters in this exclusive, it's 1.5 to €2 that enter in the inclusive. So in the country, in the community. And when I said exclusive in terms of architecture. Top architects among the best in the world are engaged. About landscaping, top landscape architects are engaged. Top engineers are engaged. So it's not about doing something disruptive with nature. It's about creating a role model for how you develop and how you make nature better by bringing people in the nature.
Well, Prime Minister, on that note, thank you so much for your time and thank you for joining us on Euronews.